Let's just get to it. I've just been brushing my teeth.
Oh, I've just been brushing my teeth as well.
Do you know I've taken to brushing my teeth with my eyes closed, standing on one leg.
Oh, that's interesting. Once every week I swap hands.
Oh, I've tried that and I cannot do it with my right hand. I think it's one of the most uncoordinated experiences I can have is to try and brush my teeth with my non-dominant hand.
Interesting. So do you stand on one leg with your eyes closed in order to prepare yourself for inevitable future strokes?
Pretty much.
Is that why you do?
That's pretty much,
okay.
yeah. It's keeping on working my proprioception, my proprioceptive system, yeah.
So mine's about forcing neuroplasticity, because if you use your non-dominant hand to do something regularly, your brain starts to go, oh, I've got to open up new pathways, which is good if you have a stroke, because that's what it has to do.
Yeah, so I think I might try and do that. I might try and brush my teeth with my non-dominant hand while standing on one leg with my eyes closed.
I mean, that's fine if you don't mind cavities.
Yes, no, the other thing, it's quite nice. By quadrant, I just go, okay, over to the other leg, and then quadrant, switch back to the other leg.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You do it by quadrant.
Yeah. Well, I don't use an electric toothbrush these days.
You don't?
Trying to get rid of all electric things as much as possible. And then also, have you ever used those tablets? They're not, it's not paste.
Yes, I do. I do use I do know those tablets. I have them for travelling.
But the funny thing was that there's you can get floss, which comes in a plasticless floss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they stopped, it's a silk one, but a particular company stopped making it because I think the vegans, bless them, didn't like that. And so they came up with some sort of starchy version. And the funny thing with the starchy version is that it breaks and gets stuck in your teeth. It just doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, it's got to do the job, right?
So here we are talking about dental health. This is prime midlifing territory. Worrying about keeping our teeth.
Also, gripping midlife territory.
It really is. So should we move on to our skincare regimen? What do you do? And I won't even kid you. As I sat down this morning, I thought to myself, I wonder what skincare regimen Simon has.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
It's a really interesting question. It's not at all.
Said nobody ever.
I don't.
Don't.
I have so again pretty strong on the plastic-free thing. So I have olive oil, which I put in my hair after I've washed my hair, and I rinse my hair with vinegar water.
God, I bet you smell like a delicious salad.
Totally. You could run your hands through my hair and go, insalata mista. And and then a little bit of olive oil. And occasionally I'll put some olive oil, very little bits on my skin where it gets a bit, I seem to have inherited my father's propensity for slightly scalpy skin on my face. What a pleasure that is. So yeah, all very just stuff out of your cupboard.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Goodness me.
But tell me
You
about...
won't want... Well, I was going to say you won't want to know about my use of, a serum first, followed by a light moisturizer, followed by an SPF on top. That's where I am right now.
You use
in my
SPF
life.
every day?
Yes.
Wow.
Otherwise, I'm not going to look like this forever.
Are they? Is it like some kind of fancy brand?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, I have multiple. Caudalie, it's Ven, it's Votary. There are some really good names in there. Anyway, let's move on.
I love the idea that you might say some of those names and I don't recognize any of them.
Yeah, but there will be people who care about their skin and don't want to taste like salad who will think to themselves, this seems like a good
I
starter.
don't use salt. or garlic or mustard.
Oh. Salt's really good to as an exfoliating agent, so I don't know why you don't use salt.
Yes, I'm going to try that later on.
In some olive oil, and then use that as a foot scrub or as a face scrub. Yeah, I'm not averse to using pantry essentials on my skin either.
Oh, when you say it like that, it sounds like I'm really cheap.
No, that's not what it sounds like. It just sounds like you.
It's good
you
olive
sound
oil.
like you sound like an anti-vaxxer when you say, "I use the things from my cupboard because I don't want to go to a shop." But I know you're not.
I am an anti-vaxxer.
So how's your week been?
It's good. I had a funny moment the other day on a walk in the morning and in the park. There was a guy there about 40 meters away from me, maybe 30. And he had that posture of a man holding a plastic bag trying to find his dog shit. It's a very particular posture.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure you
occupy
are.
it
I'm
on
sure
the
everyone
daily.
can imagine. And then that equally familiar thing of looking up and looking around, but not looking around far enough to see me. And then he looked around and then he just walked away. And as he kept walking away, he kept looking around, but not looking around at me. And I just got the giggles.
That is just ridiculous. He made the rookie error of not using his performance training. Had he done some simple minimalist mime at some point in his undergraduate, he would have been able to pretend to pick up the poo that he can't find, mime tying the bag, and even give the weight in the arm, that sensation that you're carrying, just, like a good turd and a half.
Did you say minimalist or minimal?
I meant to say minimal, but maybe I
I
said
love
minimalist.
the idea of minimalist mime. Yes, he could have.
Richard
And then he
Serra treats me
Exactly.
to a mime workshop.
And
No,
then he
that's
could
not
have,
quite what I meant.
and then he could have pretended to go around the wall as he left whilst
Yeah.
carrying the dog shit.
I
Yeah.
quite like the idea of like keeping your dog turd to just flick against the corner of the wall into the baseboard at the bottom of the wall and go, "It's a new work."
Or he could have mimed tying it up in a tree, for God's sake.
Oh, I am so over. I'm so over the number of them that I see.
Is that a worldwide
Anyway.
phenomenon, do you think? I've never seen it anywhere else. I'd love to hear from listeners outside of the UK if they, if dog owners in their country, if you're from Kazakhstan, etc., or India, let us know. If dog
You have
owners,
bags of dog shit in your trees.
do
It's a
people-
question to ask, isn't it? I would love us
info
to
at
get
midlifing.net.
a Kazakhstani photograph of of tree turds.
Oh, I think Lil's doing yoga, and I think I might be laughing too loud.
Why do your guffaws knock her off her mat?
Wow, wouldn't yours?
No, I'm a quiet laugher.
I think she's actually double vaccinated when it comes to headphones. She's got 2 sets on.
Earbuds with then over the ears on top.
Exactly.
Both with noise cancelling.
Head over the top. Yeah, she's actually.
Gotcha. Practicing with her head out of the window. Got it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Is it time for a friend update?
Well, it's not a friend update in the way that you might be imagining, but I did get a WhatsApp message.
Oh.
I was looped into a WhatsApp group called Chopped Liver ?
Chopped liver question mark.
Yeah, as in what are we, chopped liver?
Oh, I don't know that.
Have you never heard that phrase?
Tell me the phrase.
Oh, what am I? Chopped liver? So it's a thing where somebody says, like, oh, I really wish I was friends with a capable, thoughtful, contemporary dance practitioner. And you would say, what am I? Chopped liver?
No, I've never. I mean, it rings a bell, but
You can start using it on the daily.
I
Anyway,
love that. That's really how to sell someone. What is a thoughtful contemporary dance practitioner? Middle-aged.
I didn't want to put in middle-aged and white as well, but they were implicit.
What would a
Steeped in
midlifing
privilege.
episode be without the colour of my skin being brought into the algorithm?
Let's not forget. I also want to rail on your horrific patriarchal constructs.
I thought you were going to talk about olive oil in my hair then for a moment.
No, I think-
horrific olive oil
that's-
constructs in your hair.
That's totally what tips you in the opposite direction, because that makes you want to sound like you're in the boiled wool brigade and that you would like live on a commune. And here I'm just talking about the people that I see on my high street. Okay.
So if anyone
chopped
does,
liver.
any listeners, Kazakhstan or otherwise, would like to start a commune with me, just info at midlifing.net.
Is it going to be based around a single tree where you just hurl bags of shit into it? Is that going to be the central pastime?
And big tubs of olive oil, which we're going to sort of basically slather over. Anyway,
That's starting to go somewhere
You did.
potentially problematic and dark. So,
dog shit and olive oil. That's the name of my second difficult album.
on the podcast that you
His
start with
sophomore album.
the guy that you found in the park.
Maybe I could put him in my WhatsApp group. Who
So,
are we?
yeah. Dog shit and olive oil.
Chopped liver.
I think dog shit and olive oil sounds like an excellent superhero team up. Batman and Robin.
Shit and olive oil.
Dog shit and olive oil. Sorry. So,
Anyway, you can cut that bit.
anyway,
Cut
I
that bit where
got-
we laughed at each other.
Why? That's the best bit.
So you're in a
I
WhatsApp
was.
group.
I was looped into a WhatsApp group called Chop Liver.
I think I've got to take my jumper off. Hang on, I've got to take my headphones off. Hang on. I can't
So
hear you
while
just in case.
while Simon undresses, I
Also,
will.
It's because of
say-
laughing so much.
I am a hoot.
It's also because I might have had a few too many layers on.
Ah,
I
right.
can hear you now.
Okay, good. So, WhatsApp, chopped liver. And the question was, what are we, chopped liver? And this is from 2FLs. They seemed to think that in last week's episode, I was saying I didn't have any friends.
Oh.
I was taken aback by this, and I'm going to name and not shame. And the requirement was a public apology on midlifing. I was accused.
So these faithful listeners, these FLs,
these are FLs. They have featured in the podcast. We have read out their letters.
right. That's got.
They know who
that must
they
have
are.
hurt them.
They know who they are. I will tell you who they are. Mandy and Sue.
Oh,
So
they're actually
They
our
s-
faithfulest listeners.
they are. I think they are.
They're
our
at the top
faithful
of
listeners.
our
Yeah.
the spreadsheet we keep of favourite listeners.
Although I will say that I didn't get this message until Thursday, so they weren't listening on the day that the episode dropped, or perhaps they spent a whole day just reflecting on how cross they were.
Yes,
But-
they wrote like 23 drafts of the WhatsApp
Oh.
message,
which I will come back to later because there's a sort of an addendum. It's not quite. Anyway, so
I love that you're. While on the one hand you're possibly constructing a new friendship, while
possibly.
while screwing up other ones.
But this is the thing. This is the bit that I'm in a genuine head scratcher about. I do not have any recollection, and I went and listened to the episode of me saying I have no friends.
Good
What
for
I
our download
said-
numbers.
Yeah. Oh, no, I just went to the raw file because I don't like to skew the algorithm.
Like one listen can skew the algorithm. Who's
With our numbers, it would.
our biggest listener happens to be from Totnes.
Well, there is somebody who listens from Totnes, and I get like, is that me? And then it's not me because I've got a VPN on. I know that I never listen from
Yeah,
Totnes.
you're the Kazakhstani listener, aren't you?
I'm often in Finland. So, the concern was that I said I had no friends. And I don't remember saying that. So I suppose I'm asking you, in our conversation last week, Simon, did you think I was saying I had no friends?
All I heard was, I have more friends than you.
That's it, yeah.
According to you, secondate,
Yeah.
you think I have more friends than you do.
And
That
I
I'm
hold
good
to
at
that.
friends and you're not.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that because
It was implied.
No, I don't even think it was implied.
I'm just scratching a bit of dried skin from between my eyes, by the way.
So if you were to use
you
some
just
of my
slap some
products,
olive
that would have
oil.
already, well, you know, fine if you're looking to make a bruschetta on your...
Bruschetta.
Did I do it right?
You did not. But it's okay.
Oh my! I'm going to call it a bruschetta and just do it to fuck you over.
It sounds
And
like
it's
something you'd hang in a
gnocchi.
tree when you say it like that.
So,
Oh, so
yeah,
do you feel bad?
Well, I do feel bad because I don't want Mandy and Sue or any other of the people that I consider to be my dear, dear friends who are listening to the podcast to think that I was saying I had no friends. And even when I say that I'm not in the market for friends, I want to be clear, I was saying new ones, not I want to divest myself of all
But
existing relationships.
I thought you had a kind of a one in, one out policy, though, didn't you?
No, that's my approch to clothes. It's not my approach to people.
You imagine this new friend, you know, he who
I don't even know
shall
if he's
not be
gonna make the
named.
cut.
Yeah.
Voldemort.
And, if you got lined up to get rid of, hey, Mandy, Sue, it's going to be one of you two. Things aren't looking good.
Mandy and Sue, you're safe. Everybody knows Simon is the first up for the show.
I love that because then the podcast become between two frenemies.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
Which
we used to be frolics.
we started as frolics, became friends, and now
We're frenemies and then full-blown enemies.
Ah.
Yeah,
I love that.
full-blown.
I was going to say, I love that extra syllable that you have in blown.
Oh, wait. Can you tell me how do you say
I say blown.
it? Tell me how you say seagull as well.
Seagull.
Say it again.
How would you say seagull?
I swear when I listened to our episode with the seagulls in it, you were going seagull.
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 Seagull. No, I don't say seagull. That's ridiculous.
I think you do.
Maybe I do say seagull.
You're blowing. Oh. So if you said you were blowing, you'd say...
What would the context be? Because that's not something I would tell people.
I would talk
That's
about that in
between
relation
me
to
and my
Voldemort, actually.
me and my priest.
Anyway, friends. So do you want to apologise?
I do. I want to apologise to Mandy and Sue and anybody else who thought I was saying I didn't have friends or that I wasn't planning on keeping the ones that I had. That was not my intention. I absolutely and avowedly intend to continue the relationships that I have, and should any other relationships develop in my future, I will not be casting people aside as a result of said new friendship. I may cast people aside because I've just decided I don't like you.
So,
But
Sue and Mandy,
that's
what I
really
heard
why.
then was, I'm sorry if you were offended.
Oh my God. Did I just do a non-apology apology?
You did not, but I'm just winding you up.
Because I thought I genuinely said, I am sorry
I've
that
made
I
a
hurt you.
mistake. I take
Not,
full responsibility.
I'm sorry if you heard me say something.
I'm sorry if your hearing is terrible, Sue and Mandy.
I'm sorry the lack of clarity that I offered in my speech upset you. I take full responsibility, not only for my words, but for the thoughtless way I edited aforementioned words together.
I'm sorry, Sue and Mandy,
It's on
for
me.
your appalling capacity to interpret my everyday words. What can I do about
I am going to be absolute. By the way, Sue, Mandy, I'm going to forward you Simon's personal text message so you can loop him into the WhatsApp and just like pester him because he deserves to be similarly.
if anyone's looking to buy some olive oil, I've got some going cheap. Info at midlifing.net.
Only 2 teaspoons of dandruff per bottle.
ppm, parts per million.
So this is a question that sort of grows out of stuff related to friendship and frolics and frenemies and all of that sort of attendant stuff. It's about forgiveness.
Oof.
So,
Sue and Mandy, will you forgive Lee? So, go on.
I don't know if it even is about forgiveness. I think it's about what is your position on people who you have had some kind of a relationship with, that they were in your life at some point, and then for a reason that for you feels legitimate, they're no longer in your life.
You meaning I dumped them or they dumped me?
It might have been mutual. It almost sort of doesn't matter who's the dumper and the dumpee.
Right.
It's just the sense that there's been a break in communications, and with nothing having been resolved.
Yeah.
But this person didn't feature particularly high up the cast list of people that you're bothered about in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
On
like
my
we're not
spreadsheet.
talking. Yeah,
We're not talking Sue and Mandy here.
we're not talking Sue and Mandy.
Yeah.
We're talking significantly lower down
Yeah,
the
much
down
closer
the
to
pecking
Corbetron's level.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
If they reach out to you, if someone was to reach out to you, what would you do with that? If, like, you kind of go, but they're so far in my rearview mirror, and I have no urge to enter into anything. And what do you do with it?
Wow. It so depends. It so depends on the circumstances under which you might say, the ending occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, my approach is to go, oh, it's really nice to hear from you. Generally, that would be... because also, I think the other thing about, especially with situations where you might say you've just fallen apart.
Yeah.
You know, in the sense that you stop seeing them.
Yeah, they're just
nothing
the glue,
particularly
the glue sort of aged
yeah.
and things just stopped sticking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a post-it note that fell off the wall, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I guess what you don't know, there's no necessary any real reason. So you don't, and so it's like, to me, if someone were to reach out to me, then in a way it's possible that nothing really happened, or it's possible that they might want to say something about what happened, and so I wouldn't want to not make that possible. But if it were something where the thing is, if it was something where I felt really offended or hurt or scared or that's whatever,
Yeah,
and
you
that I
have an
had
emotional tenor to the
strong,
exchange.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then, but I hadn't really communicated why that was left unsaid. That you might say I just ghosted them.
Gotcha.
Then,
like you and me.
yeah, exactly. Next episode, Simon and Lee
should it-
don't talk to each other. Tune in. And yeah, and so that one's sort of trickier, because then actually, in a way, I sort of think the onus is on me to effectively use my words. And
Gotcha.
I'm a bit crap at that, Lee. I find that very difficult. I really do. It's really stressful.
Yeah, because we've been talking about friendship, and because we've been talking about the idea of, like, how do we make friends in middle age? Is it possible, and you know, is it worth putting the effort in? All of those sorts of things were kind of implicit in what we were talking about last week. I just find myself sort of on the back of that conversation going, oh, well, this is an opportunity to mend a fence. But then actually realising, well, there's no livestock on either side of the fence. It really doesn't matter. Because I don't think that, and maybe this is the nub of it. I've never reached out to anybody.
Oh. I mean, that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, there are people who I am sure I have upset, but I'm kind of, it's that, you know, your scorched earth policy in relationship to your memory.
You're like that with friends.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
sorry, Mandy and Sue, I'm not talking about you. I mean that, you know, I just kind of, yeah. And that's probably a reason why I don't have friends from when I was at school.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's one person who I've known since I was 11. And we exchange Christmas cards and birthday cards.
And that's it.
That's it. Yeah. And the very, very occasional WhatsApp message. And I did say, oh, I'll come and visit you because I'm working in the north and she lives in the north. And, you know, I'm nearly a year into that post and still haven't done that. So
I mean, just so you know, I'm in training, but not yet in a position to actually give absolution. But I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about that.
About my horrifying admission that I've never reached out to anybody.
Well,
Or that I have a scorched earth policy of when people are done, they're done.
well, they're both, they're
Same thing.
yeah. I mean, I kind of admire it,
But
but it's also hard to understand for me. Like it's
Yeah.
really hard, given my psychology, to understand that.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's incomprehensible, actually.
because you are worried about people liking you.
Yeah. I think that would be
Gotcha.
yeah. So there's something. That's what I mean about I admire it. That there's something I go, wow, what that must be. There must be a certain.
Pathology?
I was going to say calmness, but let's
No,
go with
I don't-
pathology. No, a certain kind of calmness about that.
So we've learnt something new about Lee David Miller today. He's not as nice as people think he sounds.
Mm.
And yet he will still edit this episode to make himself sound like a king.
Sound like a king, did you say?
Yeah.
Show title. He will edit this to make himself sound like a king.
Yeah. Oh, so that
is really interesting. That is, I mean, I find that deeply fascinating. It's not at all. I don't feel any kind of sense of judgment about it. Absolute curiosity in the stark difference between how you and I would approach that scenario.